was always in a band. Nag-start ako in a punk band. I used to sing. And then later on, nag-synths ako for a punk, electro-punk thing. I did a reggae band before. I was playing keyboards. But I felt most comfortable making music alone. Kasi parang no one would tell you you're weird or your ideas are like out of this world or out of this planet. I'd get that a lot in high school. Like parang weird mo. So there's two pulse channels and one wave channel and a noise channel. So yung tunog niya, kala mo kontra. So programming stuff here is, say you hold select, press right, and you have your phrases. And so phrase 1, phrase 2, phrase 3, phrase 4. Tapos yung notes. So now it's playing an EG, parang arpeggiator. Basically, when I got into high school, I was really delving into electronic music. And I think yung gateway drug for me was yung Game Boy or chip tunes. So Game Boy music. I started looking for the next best option to make video game music, which was using software. And after that, I got into like buying my own synths and samplers. 2013, that's when nabuo yung Similar Objects. Prior to that, I would go under various monikers like Pale City Airport Club, Milk Riddles. So yung Milk Riddles, it's sort of like a name that represented like masturbation, musical masturbation for me. Because it's like, I had basically no idea what I was doing. I was just like, like equivalent of, musical jerking off in front of my laptop or in front of the gear. And then later on, like, Pale City Airport Club was my moniker sa MySpace na puro ambient. It's like ambient short stories or audio journaling. Noong 2013, I decided to call my music Similar Objects or create this name, which came to me in a sort of like eureka moment. Nagka-eureka moment ako. I was in Tally and I had a psychedelic experience with friends. It just dawned on me yung idea. Parang I saw this like meditation of or this imagery of Matryoshka dolls. Like yung parang nesting doll. So parang yun yung naging metaphor for everything I do. Parang we're all similar objects within similar objects. So parang we're all sort of like affecting each other. So naging yun yung driving principle ng Similar Objects. And then in that same weekend, I made an EP and almost instantly na-pick up siya ng Pitchfork. And it wasn't even blogged for, parang yung mga sinasabi nga nila doon isn't even praising the album or anything. They were saying, what the fuck is this kid on? A lot of the music was inspired by the visuals I was seeing when I was like, on mushrooms with my friends. I guess it's the first time for me to say it blatantly in a documentary. One started out of the necessity to create like a family or a community that I could relate with. Because nung time na yun, I felt so, alone na in my peers, no one understood what I was doing or people just thought that I was into weird music. But I knew for a fact that there was like a group of people in Manila that was into that. So I would frequent shows like, I think I met them during Samayam or like in Subflex. Or when I'd go to like yung mga events nila Caliph 8 or nila Red. So, yun, I met them there and eventually I introduced myself. And if not there, some of them I met on MySpace. So we just decided to like put together a collective so that we can, do our own thing. So we started doing our own events because we wanted to create the context for our content. We were doing it in Arts in the City and it was all DIY. Like we would set up a ticket booth. Magkano ba yung entrance? So 100 pesos ata. And then sa loob, dun yung artists. Tapos, we would pair it up with like artsy films like Holy Mountain, gano'n. Later on, nung nagka-opening kami to do it in Black Market, we decided to move it there. Little did we know that moving there would also evolve the whole collective. In a way na we were starting to get more into DJing and exploring upper tempos. So our productions would end up becoming more club ready, more body felt tempos, and we just started to explore like faster, bassier music. And it also helped us learn how to be better DJs, how to crowd read. So after that, we then moved to 2020. We came back with a more, I guess, fixed, mas confident na kami sa ginagawa namin. Versus na before, everything's DIY. Now it's like, everything was more planned. So everything was more cohesive, even with the marketing and stuff. So ang dami naming projects now, like, from what started as just like event thing or like something like a label, like a samahan lang. Now it's like, we do events, we do releases, we do workshops. At the core of it kasi like Buwan is a game. It's a Filipino game that we never played. There's a circle, and to get into the circle, you have to touch someone outside of the circle. So it's somewhat like a metaphor for sharing your worlds. Aside from me loving esoteric stuff and attaching the lunar cycles to the sked of the gigs, dati tina-time namin yung gigs pag full moon. So we'd also time the releases to the moon cycles. Yun lang, we're just trying to like sort of be free and like sort of push the idea that electronic music is everyone's playground. That's pretty much like yung guiding principles namin. Parang chop breaks lang. When I added this, so chopped na rin siya na break. And added drums on it. Nagyan ko ng 909s. So memorable gigs. My second time in Malasimbo was fun because it's the first time I played an all original set. Tapos first time ko maka-experience na ang daming tao and then they're asking for an encore. The funny part is like when they asked for an encore, I said yes, but I didn't have any material left to play. So I played siguro like 20 seconds of like random sounds and doon ko lang na-realize na wala nang bala to play. I never thought that people would accept the music that way. But it was the first time na parang naramdaman ko yung support from the people. And then, I guess, the next memorable one was when I played in Japan. First gig I played, I was slotted at 4 a.m. And you know how in the Philippines, 4 a.m. is like, uwian na. So, 4 a.m. na, ako antok na ako. As in, I don't know where to get the energy to like, you know, rock out pa or like, just really feel what you're playing. But people were still there. I mean, people are actually like interested to know about it and actually listening. There was another show in Japan that I did as my side project naman. I have a side project called Presentious. I didn't know if anyone would go, but the whole room was packed. It was so intimidating because it's like some of my idols were opening for me, like Torta Manila was like the opener. I remember this one memorable moment na parang I have a song and then there's a part na may sumisigaw na bata. Tama na siya, boo. Nasabi ng bata. So the Japanese people are going crazy to these like Tagalog words they don't even know the meaning of. But they're going ham. Finland was fun in its own way also. I went to Finland to play for a festival called Modern Sky. A lot of people are wondering why we were so jolly. Filipinos are so jolly daw. But other than that, I felt like being an outsider also gave them a different way to like perceive the music. Parang they were like, wow, is the music in the Philippines like different time signatures all the time? There was a bar called Al's Bar there on Aguirre. Basically like punkista gig place, emo. Pero may nag-book sa akin dati as Pale City Airport Club pa ako noon. I remember this gig so much because it's the first time someone booed me off stage. As in, binato pa ako ng tansan. So parang, ang sakit doon for me nung time na yun. Kaya after that time, I just quit eh. I stopped playing for a while. So that was one of the more memorable gigs in a negative way though. Kasi parang doon ako na-realize na parang shit, ayoko muna. For me, it was just like, I didn't really think that my music could work anywhere. Like, coming from Manila, it's like, you play stuff here, you play the same set. Walang reaction or minimal yung reaction. Just you go out there and people are like, wholeheartedly like surrendering to your stuff. It's life-changing. So this is like a vinyl record of sampled Pilita Corrales, ginawa kong hip-hop. Everything is sequenced and mixed in between two SP404s and maybe an SP202. And then from vinyl, it makes its way back into vinyl. So I sampled from vinyl and then someone picked it up and produced it for me. Very optimistic about the scene now. Because it's just growing in so many directions, like house, techno, experimental. There's something for everyone here, if you just know how to look. So parang some people would be surprised that the Filipinos are looking towards the West, but like Westerners and people from other countries actually look towards us for inspiration also. Di ba parang when people say na parang tunog hindi Filipino. That at face value it sounds so good for you because it's like, oh, tunog international. But what I want people to realize is like, it's kind of weird. You're automatically putting us below by saying hindi tunog Filipino. I feel like we enslaved ourselves to that thinking that anything that's international is better than us. Like, same with me. Like, I wouldn't have known that any of this was possible if I just listened to everyone that was telling me to quit. So just ignore it. If people hate on your shit, I mean, people are always gonna hate on your shit whether you like it or not. So just stick to it. I mean, I didn't imagine any of this to happen when I started. I was just like shooting shit in the air, and now like the scene is growing exponentially. So yeah, I just think that everyone should like keep doing it.